Okay, it says I'm live. I'm not even going to check, to be honest with you. Oh, this little short one I'm going to have to change. hmm Okay, so I'm live and I've chosen to go live without having any kind of preparation because this is one of the things that I teach. It's just go for whatever it is and figure out how you're going to morph and change and make it different as you go forward. So, those are some of my teachings for those of you that have ever followed me. And I thought, what a perfect time to start doing something on a regular basis to give the world an opportunity to get some of the wisdom that I've gotten over the last 70 years. Because for those of you that know me or have followed me at all, I've been on the planet for 70 years. And with that comes is some wisdom. And one of the things, because mostly I speak to women in their second half of life. What comes with the second half of your life is that thing called menopause, which I've said this many, many times, and you've heard it or not heard it, is your brain completely rewires for wisdom. So you are the way showers, ladies, who have entered into that stage of your life. We are the way showers for the planet to be the wisdom providers. And so I would love to share with you some of the things that I have learned and to begin this process of 2026, which I believe is going to be the most magical year ever. So, some of the things that I'm going to share with you through my YouTube channels, especially, is how to start a business because there's so much conversation out there right now, and because I've been an abundance teacher for so many years, there's so much nonsense out there about victimhood. The thing is, and the truth is that everybody is infinitely abundant. Everybody, all the plants, all the animals, all the people, because that is nature. We're part of nature. So if you're infinitely abundant, what keeps you from seeing that? Well, there's only one word: you. And when we have all of these talking heads out there, the press, the media, politicians, I don't care who they are, tell you that you are stuck and in poverty and, basically you're a victim. Here's the thing is that victimhood is a choice. And if you listen to talking heads tell you that victimhood is your lot in life, that is like letting a abused woman continue to believe that she is worthless. So I am going to tell you that one of the easiest ways to get out of this whole nonsense of victimhood is to start a business. I've never been a fan of a job, which I refer to as just over broke, because it is a fixed income and I want you to thrive. And the only way to thrive is to get out from somebody else's thumb. And so when you're working for somebody, just like when you're a renter and you don't buy your own home, you're paying somebody else's way in life. And so I'm going to teach you how to start a business. I'm going to teach you, if you already have a business, how to grow that business, because we do live in this 3D world and it's really important to understand that you are not a victim, you are unlimited potentiality, and that you can have and be and do anything that you choose. However, it's your thoughts, your beliefs, your physical emotions that keep you stuck. And that doesn't have to be the way that it is. So I also know that during the past 2 weeks, and I always go through this period of um, listening to nature, which we're in winter. So winter is a downtime, it's when the leaves fall off the trees, and really begin to connect with that rhythm. Well, I always connect like a bear hibernating, and it's in the form of eating way too much. And that was my first addiction. So any of you that read my book know that addiction is one of my fabulous traits. But the thing is that all the planet is addicted. I can prove that with the fact that we all, not we, I don't doom scroll, but y'all are doom scrolling. But the fact is if you begin to look at what are those things that are keeping you stuck. So I just recorded a um, podcast. My podcast is Radical Responsibility Revolution, which this is what this whole idea is about. It's about you taking radical responsibility for your experiences in life. And when we blame other people or hold other people accountable for our beingness in life, then we are choosing to be a victim. And I am saying, stop being a victim in any way, shape, or form. Your victimhood is a choice. And so when we let go of being a victim, we take our power back because this is about internal power. There is no power outside of you that can hurt you. And I know everybody's like, oh, yes, there is. Well, no, there isn't. And I love Viktor Frankl because he's a perfect example of one of the worst experiences you could go through, um, and being a victim of a Nazi concentration camp. And he never lost sight of the fact that he was in charge of his own power from within. He came out of there um, happier than anybody would have ever experienced that because he knew the truth of who he was. So I want you to begin to understand the truth of who you are. I speak from a scientific perspective and a spiritual perspective because they're two sides of the exact same coin. When I talk about spirituality, I talk about it as the oneness. So you'll hear me talk about the judgment and the just and the unjust. There's no such thing. If you really believe in a oneness of God, a consciousness, a universe, then you realize that there's only one. And if you're a unique individualized expression of that one, then everything else that is in your experience is God. There isn't anything that isn't God. Now, I understand that people want to say there's evil in the world. The fact of the matter is that everything is God, everything is love. Now, if you observe it as something else, that is also a choice. We are always at choice to see the world as we decide to see it. So if you decide you want to see the most magnificent, prosperous, abundant life, then it's all within your own power. You get to choose that every single moment. So that's why when you begin to look at how do I want to show up in the world, the very first decision I recommend is that you look at how are you going to have that sovereignty, that autonomy of being an entrepreneur, if you will. And when I talk about this from women that have gone through or going through menopause, it's because your brain is now rewiring into this wisdom that says all of the old model of me is no longer who I am. And if you are younger than that, then let's do it together too. But the fact is that when you begin down this path of your own autonomy, your own agency, your own desire to be who you were meant to be on this thing called planet Earth, life transforms in a way you can't even imagine. So, we're going to talk about starting a business. I'm also going to talk about improving my own health. For those of you that have read my book or know anything about me, I was diagnosed with rectal cancer 2017. They took my rectum out. That was super fun. I mean, to this day, super fun. And at the same time, that doesn't get in my way of being 70 and having minus one of those little tools called a rectum to actually show up in the world. I go to the gym every day, and I've gone to the gym even during this period of time that I've been eating like a bear in hibernation. And yet my body has said, okay, we're done with that. It's time for you to start taking care of me again. And that's what we want to do. Is how do you do that? There's multiple people out there telling you all the different ways to eat healthy and the MAGA or MAHA or whatever. I'm not here to tell you how to do that, but I am here to tell you to listen to your body. When we get into paying attention to our own intuition and we really plug in and connect with this universal presence, with God, whatever word you want to call it, you hear those whispers. You know what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm going to just ask the question right now, who doesn't know what they're supposed to be doing? Because the fact is you all know what you are supposed to be doing. Every single one of you that's hearing this or will hear this, you know what you're supposed to do for a good life. And why don't we do it? Because of all our imprinting and all our programming and all of the things that keep us in that victim status. So today is your Independence Day, and it's the 250th anniversary year for the United States of America, whether you're in the US or not. This is an independence that has been offered to us not from a government, from our own inherited nature. You are divinely inherited the freedom, life, liberty, happiness, and life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There's nothing there that stands in your way except for you. So I'm going to, my intention is to be live every day, share with you how you can make a difference in your own life. And if you want to know more, follow me on the 9,000 social media platforms, which I'm going to talk about social media. Also, that is an algorithm, whether using it for business or you're using it as an addiction, that is controlling your life in ways that you don't even know. I know everyone thinks they know, but this is the thing, is you've got to start taking radical responsibility for you, nobody else. And if you're out there trying to tell everybody else how to live, this is not going to be something that you want to probably participate in, because the fact is, you are your co-creator of your life. And if you understand that, it is so magical and so powerful, yet it takes responsibility. What do they say? With great power comes great responsibility. You have the power already. Nobody needs to give it to you. You already own it. It's yours. Now the question is, will you embody it? Will you take up the mantle? Will you become the perfect version of you that was sent here with a purpose and a passion? It's time for you to say, I am who I am, and I know the truth of who I am. So that's it for today. And tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to do Monday through Friday. On Monday, I'm going to start talking about business. I'm going to start talking about creating a business and all of those things that may seem like they're out of your reach. Nothing is out of your reach. Nothing. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do for this weekend is, what is your big sky, blue sky dream? What is that? Begin to think about that over this weekend. What are the things that you would like to see and experience in your life? What's been on your heart forever that you don't even have the courage to say out loud because it's so scary? Write that down somewhere for yourself. Really begin to acknowledge that you have dreams that are so much bigger than your life right now. And it's time to activate those dreams. You are the magic. Queen of Magic out.